What's going on, BTG family? It's your boy AJ 2K in the flesh with my boy KC. KC, how you feeling? How you feeling?
Oh man, I'm feeling great. It's a great day to be a BTG fan because AJ, we are officially live Super Bowl weekend. I'm feeling great, man. It's a lot to get into today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A lot to get into. Like KC mentioned, it is our first live show. Quick little finger snap for that. First live show. Y'all make sure y'all tune in. There's much more to come. We got a lot of exciting things. But before we get to the Super Bowl and the NBA trade deadline and all of that stuff, we have a special guest to introduce. As I stated before, we had a fantasy football challenge this year. And that's nice. That's my first time seeing that. All right, we we had a fantasy football challenge this year. My older brother Andre Brown won it, and he is here live in the flesh. So without further ado, let's introduce the champ, Andre.
How what up? What
up? Let's get it. What's going on, Andre?
I'm loving it, guys. I'm glad to be on the show.
Awesome. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming on. Hey, you earned the invite. You wanted to. I don't know how. Now I gotta say this on air. I've said it before. I gotta say it with you now here on the show. I don't know how you do it, man. I think out of all the fantasy football leagues we've been in, I think I've only beaten you one time, and I like to think I'm a pretty solid fantasy football player. I'm pretty solid, you know. I've only beaten this man one time, so I just want to start this off by again congratulating you on becoming a champion. But I also want to just ask you, how do you do it, man? What do you look for when you draft players in the draft?
Well, first of all, I'm a grinder. So for me, you probably saw doing the league. I'm a waiver wire hawk. I beat the waiver wire up. that's my favorite thing is doing that. But for me, it was laying out. I tried to go back and see who was underappreciated last year, and I lucked up. Well, I kind of lucked up with. Starting off the draft with Henry and Calvin Ridley. And for the first part of the year, they were kicking butt, right?
Yeah.
And then when both of them went out, I was like, oh crap.
yeah.
It was like I was down and dumps for a little bit. But yeah, I started off with Henry and with Ridley, and it was a good spot. And then I looked up with Allen and Montgomery and Cooper Kupp just kicking butt after that. So it was like that was the best thing for me. So
yeah, you always find a way to find them little them guys that just come out of nowhere. Like Cooper Kupp didn't necessarily come out of nowhere, but who would have thought he would have the season that he's had this year? It's just nuts. KC, you got any questions?
Biggest thing for me, because I know you mentioned Derrick Henry and Ridley went out for you. Now my first pick, I had the first pick in the draft. AJ knows. He texted me right after he saw it. I had McCaffrey, and it went downhill quick. I thought I was going to be able to hang into the end. I know you mentioned waiver wires, but like, how do you look to pick up people once someone like a Derrick Henry goes down? Because as you can see, I had McCaffrey. I had the number one pick. It didn't work out for me. So like, what do you look for in those waiver wire picks?
I start looking at who's backups and who's getting hurt. So my biggest thing was like when the cat out of Minnesota went down, I took Alexander, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was just kicking butt, right? And then I ended up getting towards the end of the year, I got Penny, and that was probably the big one to bring me home at the end of the year was picking up Penny when all the Seattle backs got hurt. I tried to pick up some of the Ravens guys, but I couldn't. It was just they were just so scattered in Baltimore, so it didn't work out. So
no, I respect that.
Now, what seed were you in the playoffs? You were the third seed, I want to say.
Yeah, I was third seed.
And you knew. Now, normally you're number one or number two. So I assume Ken, who's obviously not here today, I thought Ken was going to win because Ken was dominating this year. He was dominating. He had a squad. He actually made me a better team too. Gave me a couple of key players this year. But I had Ken winning it. We had a poll. I think Andre was the only one to vote for himself. He's confident. This is what I want. I want my championship belt. I want this. I want that. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know about this year, Andre. And somehow, some way, you pulled it off. Describe how it felt when you realized that you were the champion.
Oh, it was crazy. That championship week was crazy because that first week I could have killed him, right? And I had a whole bunch of folks on the bench, and I was just like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna freaking lose! I'm stupid." Right? And then I kind of left out COVID, and then COVID played a big part at the end of the year. It was kind of crazy how people were going out in and out at the end of the year. So using that, just trying to find people who weren't sick
Right.
and who was ready to play was big. And even the other thing I do is one of those secret I give you is I be looking the that week or the next week after to see who my opponents were losing due to COVID and everything else, and I'll be picking up their backups too.
Oh, that's
Even if
smart.
I need them, I just go pick them up just so they wouldn't be able to pick up their backups or pick up people that are on the waiver wire that were good too.
So who do you determine who you drop? Because that's always the problem I have. Like I'll see somebody, then he'd be like, all right, who do I want to drop? That's the issue. Because then I'm scared if I drop somebody, the next week they have a big week, and somebody like you go pick them up right away, and now I'm behind the 8 ball again. So how do you determine who you drop?
That's the risk you got to take. I mean, you just gotta. To me, you evaluate who they're playing to and see who they're playing, who they got coming up. It's probably the biggest thing for me.
Got you.
Well, Andre, you're gonna be hanging out with us a little bit today. So I really want to get into some other stuff because I hear word on the street you are a 76ers fan. So yes, I know, as you know, they picked up James Harden. I don't know what James Harden you're gonna get. Well, I mean that's still yet to be seen. But what are your thoughts on the 76ers picking up Harden for Simmons?
I gave him a C. I'm not a Harden fan. So when Harden was in Houston and they played Golden State in the playoffs, I was at Game 5 of that season, and I watched Harden just jack up threes for 3 quarters and was just shooting bricks, right? And then next thing you know, the fourth quarter comes and he just sits back and just watches everybody else, and they lost a tight game. I was like, from that moment on, I was like, he's trash. And so, so at that moment, I was like, I can't even deal with it. So I'm disappointed. I wish they could have done something else, or at least gave a blast because they could have kept Drummond. To me, they could have kept Drummond because they need somebody when Embiid gets hurt or gets banged up to cover the middle. So I wish they'd have kept Drummond at least. The second first round pick I don't care about. The other one we probably should have kept that too. So I gave him a C.
I was actually shocked they gave up Seth. I think Seth is being underrated in this trade because Seth, man, that boy is a sniper. He can go for 20 any night. I've seen him go for 25, 30. Like Seth is kind of that guy. He not Steph, but in today's game where it's guard heavy, it's predicated on shooting the basketball. I personally also felt like the Nets won that trade because look at everything they're getting. They're getting draft picks. They're getting Ben Simmons, a fresh Ben Simmons, even though he's going to have to work himself back into shape, I assume, get through whatever mental issue he's dealing with. I don't want to say he's not dealing with one, but it's kind of questionable.
It's something going on,
yeah. But, they get a great defender, which is something that they need on defense. They get Drummond, they get Seth, Kyrie. If I was the Brooklyn Nets, I'd probably pay that fine to get him to play home games. But I look at that trade, and like you said, I'm not a big fan of Harden either. I feel like his game in the regular season is great because he can get to the free throw line, and it makes it easier for him because that's how he gets in rhythm. He gets to the line, he gets a couple shots to go to the net. Now he's in rhythm. Now the step back 3 working, a step back mid-range is working. But if he can't get to the line, it's a struggle. And we've seen numerous times throughout the postseason him not be able to get to the line because in the postseason they don't ref it quite the same. They don't give you as many tic-tac fouls. He don't get to the line. Now he's out of rhythm. Now he not having a great night. And on a team like the Sixers, they're going to need him to have a big night now that they done lost a guy like Seth who could pick up the slack, and maybe a guy like Drummond who can get you an offensive board and kick it back out to you. So I don't know. I do think they got better. But I think them giving the pieces that they gave to Brooklyn actually is going to hurt them more than it's going to benefit them in the long run because they're going to have to see Brooklyn in the playoffs.
No way.
What you think?
Andre, I'm gonna help you out a little bit because I see it's a little too harsh. I think the 76ers got significantly better with this trade. Now, the caveat to that, James Harden has to come in shape and ready to play. If you get James Harden, fat suit James Harden, it might be some problems early. But I think this makes them better because what were they missing with Ben Simmons, right? Playmaking. Now you will miss the defense a little bit, but James Harden can play make. He can average 10, 11, 12 assists, whatever, but he can also score the basketball. And in the playoffs, the last few years, that's what you all have been missing on that side of the ball. you haven't been able to score with Simmons. So I think adding someone like James Harden who can get you a bucket, like I said, he has to come in shape. He has to be prepared to play. But if he is, I think y'all will be good. And you got to keep Tobias Harris. You still got Thibault, but having a big body and a star like Embiid to take that away, like you can't really double him. I think the 76ers are in a good spot. You have a good coaching in Doc. You know, you guys were able to upgrade there. And you can tell. Now, I know Doc Rivers might choke, you know, but that's a whole other thing. But no, I think you guys are in a good spot. I think you guys, this is the king of chokes on this team. But I think if you put it together, everybody plays their part. I think y'all will be good.
Yeah. So I left the Steph off or the Curry thing off because Harden is way better than he is at the end of the day if he comes to play.
Right.
But I just see, I see Fatsu coming. I just honestly, I'm hoping he was faking his injury so that he would get traded. I'm hoping that's the case, but I just don't see it.
I was watching First
Take. I know Morton loves him, but I just don't see it.
Yeah, I was actually watching First Take yesterday, and Stephen A. said that somebody from James Harden camp actually texted him and said that James Harden was faking an injury. He said that on live TV just yesterday. So I don't know. For me, and I have to put this out there. I don't like the fact that somebody who is considered as great as James Harden is just forcing his way out of all these locations. I don't like it. Okay,
I can't believe he's able to get away with it.
What was that?
I can't believe he's actually able to get away with it.
I don't understand it. You know, OKC was one thing. Okay, they want to pay Ibaka before they paid him, so he wasn't getting the dollars that he wanted. I understand that. You go to Houston. I mean, they got you Chris Paul. They got you Russell Westbrook. You wanted that. You know, Clint Capella came in. They changed the lineup for you, played small ball. They moved everything they could to make it happen for you. And at the end of the day, you wasn't happy. You know what I mean? You wasn't happy. You couldn't win. You blamed it on everybody but yourself. When we all know James Harden had moments where he froze up. Call a spade a spade. He had multiple moments where he froze up. Now you go to Brooklyn. You playing with Kyrie. You playing with KD. And you forcing your way out of there. I understand that Kyrie situation, that's frustrating. I understand all of that. I understand all that. But you still got Kevin. You playing with Kevin Durant. You're playing with Kevin Durant. Like, I don't understand forcing your way out of Brooklyn, you know, to go to another team. And again, like I said, he's so great. To me, it makes you look bad. Yeah. What do you need to win a championship with? And I've heard other people bring up, well, LeBron did something similar. Everywhere LeBron left, he got them a championship first, with the exception of the first couple years with Cleveland. He went to Miami, he got them 2 rings. He came back to Cleveland, he got them a ring. He's in LA now, he got them a ring. If he leaves LA, at least the job is complete. He got us the championship. Harden not doing that. He like, oh, it's not working here. Y'all not playing how I want y'all to play. I'm freezing up. Well, I might not freeze up in Houston. I might not freeze up in Brooklyn. I might not freeze up in Philly. I feel like it's going to be the same thing when it push come to shove. If you can't win with KD, I don't know if you're winning with Embiid. That's just me. That's just me. Because I think KD right now, best player in the world. If you can't win with KD, you can't win with Embiid.
KD, best player in the world?
Yes. Who better than KD right now?
Giannis?
Giannis. I gotta give Giannis.
I mean, I give Giannis his respect as the champ, but come on, y'all. Push.
I mean, what is Giannis showing you? How? Whoa! What has Giannis showed you since he won a championship for you to say that he's still not better than KD?
I mean, Giannis is Giannis. I'm not saying the man not great. You kind of splitting hairs here when you talk about, you know, their greatness. But I saw them match up in the playoff series, and I saw KD almost single-handedly beat them, bro. Single-handedly with James Harden on half a leg, without Kyrie Irving. He one big toe away from sending the Bucks home, and they at the time they fully healthy. So I mean, it's tough. It's very similar to how, remember when KD and LeBron was meeting up in the finals when KD was on Cleveland, or when Bron was on Cleveland and KD was with the Warriors, and the Warriors was beating them, but we all knew who the best player in the world still was.
That's a completely different situation. LeBron was already. Listen. This is Andre's moment. Okay, this is Andre's moment. We don't have to get into that.
We don't get to LeBron at some point, though, right?
Yeah, no, we don't even have to get into that.
Of course.
I personally just think Giannis just right now is completely better player than KD, and KD has to beat Giannis for me to change my mind about that right now.
You know, I disagree, but for the sake of Andre having his moment, we gotta move on. We gotta move on because we will be remiss to not bring up his Dallas Cowboys. Andre, what went through your head when you saw the Dallas Cowboys go down in the wild card round of the playoffs this year?
Well, I knew when they did not get to play the Eagles, they were going to lose.
Wow. Gut punch right there. Gut punch.
I told y'all on chat, right? It was a bad matchup to me. It was just the running game, and then Debo was just a beast. It was just a bad matchup.
Yeah.
Dallas, I don't know, man. I am a diehard Dallas fan. I will love them forever. But the issue is, first, his coaching is just horrible. And then Dak, he cannot read defenses. And until that changes, they're not going to win. Guaranteed. Yeah. I mean, if somebody's playing man to man, he's going to beat them. But as soon as they switch the zone, he can't throw people open. So it's never going to happen.
I've never noticed that. I've never noticed him not be able to read defenses. Have you noticed that? I've not noticed that. KC, you noticed that?
Well, I mean, he has athletic ability. He has a big arm. I think he kind of relies on that a lot. But I have a question. So you don't think Dak can read defenses, and you don't think they'll be able to win with him like that? I mean, do you hold on to Dak long term? Like, do you look to move him? What would you do in that situation?
So to me, Jerry's going to hold on to him. But
right.
What would as GM, I would. Problem is, where do you find your next guy? Right,
wow.
To put butts in the seat. Where do you find the next guy?
Yeah.
What about a Russell? What about a Russell Wilson Dax swap? Would you take that?
You gonna take that? Yeah.
I'll take Russell easily.
Yeah, I think that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I mean, if just watch next year, you watch the Eagles versus Cowboys. If they're playing man to man, he's gonna destroy y'all. If they hit up zone, he cannot read and throw people open. If they're wide open, he's not gonna throw the ball. He's gonna hold on to it.
Which is weird because their passing attack is potent, and he throws for close to 5,000. I feel like every year, he got so many weapons. I tell Pops this all the time. I'm like, y'all always have so many weapons, and somehow, some way, I don't know how. I figured the Niners matchup was an ugly matchup. KC called it. He said the Niners will win. I actually picked the Cowboys to win. Good thing I was in Vegas. Good thing I ain't put no money on it like I did Philly, who lost. But I actually thought the Cowboys would handle business. I was saying all year that the Cowboys' issues over the years has always been on the defensive side of the ball. Yeah. I've always felt like, their offense might score 39, 40 points, but the defense might give up 50. I've always felt like that. So I've always been like, man, you got a shot against them because they're going to give up some points. This year, though, with Diggs and Parsons and Lawrence on the defensive line, this was the first year in a long time I can openly admit as an Eagles fan, I was nervous.
Yeah,
I was nervous. I'm like, yo, this is the first time I've seen a Dallas Cowboys team, at least in a long time, that can score and also get stops. It's not even about them shutting people down. It's about the fact that, like, they were winning games towards the end of the season just solely off of defense. And I'm like, yo, I ain't seen this. If that could get it back going again, like he had it going in the beginning of the season, they might really make a run. But I don't know. What did you think of what did you because I'm laughing as it crosses my mind. What did you think of the play call? And I'll give y'all my take on it. What do you think of the play call where they had Dak drop back and go on that QB draw with like 14 seconds left, 15, however much time was left?
That was Dak's fault to me.
Yeah.
You got to get down. You got to get down first early, and then you got to hand the ball to the ref. It was all Dak's fault.
I thought he was going to try to run out of bounds. When I saw it, I thought it was fake. When I saw it, I'm like, okay, they're going to try to get a couple extra yards, get closer. when I saw Dak stop and slide in the middle of the field and then just hand it to the center, I was sick. I was sick because even though I picked the Cowboys to lose, I knew they would lose. I figured it was a bad matchup. Like, as AJ would tell you, I've been rocking with the Cowboys lately, and I am kind of a Dak fan. So when I saw it, I was sick for you because they did have a chance to win. I don't know what he was thinking.
Yeah. Everybody want to go ahead, Andre.
To me, if they'd have got past the 49ers, I thought they'd have went further. I thought they probably would. They may have gone all the way because it was just that matchup, that defensive line, and then the running game that the 49ers had. I just we just can't handle it.
That makes sense. The Niners just there's an ugly matchup for everybody. Yes. They were an ugly matchup for anybody that they played against. They just an interesting team. They are tough to stop on the offensive side of the ball because they can do so many different things. Even though Jimmy G isn't amazing, the way they involve Debo in the offense and Kittle in the offense, and the way they can run the football, and then their defense can stop anybody. We've seen that countless times. They almost beat the Rams too, but I thought the play call was genius by Kellen. I really did. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was because nobody's expecting it. If he would have slid earlier and got the ball to the ref, they had a shot at the end zone. They were right there. Like Andre said, I think it was Dak's fault. I think Dak, I don't know if he panicked. I don't really know what was going through his mind. I don't know if he was looking at the end zone, was probably thinking, I can get just a little closer, probably trying to just push it to the absolute max. But, you got to know to get the ball to the ref. Yeah. You got to know how that stuff works. And then the refs, oh, my gosh.
Dude, he was 30 yards away. You're not running behind the play? Tell me something.
That's true. That's true. Like I said, the way they just waved it off at the end and just ran off the field, I was like, yo, this is bad. This is bad.
You don't need those 2 extra yards. Move back. It's like, dude, give them the ball, move out of the way. And get close to 30 yards away. Man,
if you think about it, so we saw what the Chiefs just did against the Bills in the second round, I believe that was. Where they got the ball upfield in field goal range within 14 seconds. Yeah, and they basically did the same thing from the standpoint of they attacked the middle of the field because the defense is going to be on the sidelines trying to prevent you from getting out of bounds. Right. And so you attack the middle of the field. Now the difference is obviously Kansas City had timeouts left, and that helps a lot. But that's why I think the play call by Kellen Moore was genius because it's like they're not going to expect this. They're not going to see it coming. They're going to be on the sideline. So we got a chance right here to get 20, 30 yards easily. It's not like Dak is slow. We got a chance to pick up some major yards right here. Just get down, get the ball to the ref, spike the ball. If they could have pulled that play off in, it was very tight though. But if they could have pulled that play off in 7-8 seconds and gave themselves a second or two left at the end zone, you just never know. Because one thing I do give Dak credit for, Dak is clutch. I've seen him pull rabbits out the hats, and you got weapons. You got CD. You got Amari Cooper. You got people to throw the football to. For a situation where you got one shot at the end zone. So, but I was in Vegas actually watching it on my phone. This is, as you guys know, I'm an Eagles fan. This is right after the Eagles lost. So I was just like, man, I didn't want to watch no football for the rest of the day. And I happened to catch the Cowboys game within the last minute. And I'm like, yo, they really, when the play started, I was like, oh, snap. Okay. And then once I saw the clock ticking, I'm like, they're not about to lose like this. Not like this. Yeah. My girlfriend was like, I'm surprised you're not texting no Cowboys fans. I'm like, nah, not after that one. Nah, as much as I can't stand them, I just respect. I gotta respect the space on that one because that's a tough way to lose. It's one thing to get blown out. You got to kind of eat that, but to lose in that fashion when you were supposed to win, yeah, that's tough.
It's crazy.
Hey, Andre, I do want to ask real quick before we move on, because I have my own opinions about this. But what are your thoughts on Mike McCarthy?
They should have picked him up from the start. I mean, to me, they sold him on this analytics thing, and he ain't changed in a year. You don't change a coach, a 15-year coaching career in 1 year. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So to me, it was a bad choice. It just goes along with the line of Jerry's going to pick who he can control. Oof. Really, truly, if the player personnel guy from Dallas hasn't been drafting well and picking out good free agents, we'd suck again this year too. We'd suck again last year. So yeah.
Don't worry. I felt your pain for quite a few years being a Green Bay fan, so I get it. Trust me, I get it.
At least he got y'all a ring, though. At least he got y'all a ring.
Or Prime Rogers.
No.
We don't have to.
Yeah, Prime Rogers got a ring.
Yeah, Prime Rogers got the ring.
Clearly. I mean, but I mean, Prime Rogers has still been Prime Rogers these last couple of years.
Prime Rogers is not Prime Rogers.
No, he's not Prime Rogers anymore.
They should have got rid of him a while ago.
Yeah, and they need to get rid of him now.
Yes,
let's get rid of him.
They could have got rid of him, got a whole bunch of picks, and been building.
That's what I said. Have you seen? Have you seen Love play? What do you think he's the truth? Do you think he's next?
I've only seen him play for maybe a quarter, and I didn't see very much.
Okay,
but if you draft him in the first round, this is what you want to be next anyway.
You had to see something.
Yes,
you had to see something. That's how I feel.
I wish we had Tyler here to kind of back me up on this, but I just feel like you can't. At least now, I feel a little differently now after seeing what I saw in the game against the Niners. Now it's kind of like
shut down, dude.
Yeah, man, it looked like that cold got to him. It looked like that cold was like, yo, this is a lot. But after last season, the way they lost to Tampa Bay, I'm like, yo, I don't know if I could just give up on a quarterback that just won MVP, arguably still the best in the league, debatably, talent-wise. Obviously you got Mahomes, obviously you got Brady. Rodgers is right there in that mix, especially after, last year. So I was just like, I don't know if you give up on that. And I still was of the mindset. I know Casey has said this. They've been one game away for a while. There was one game away, a couple plays away from getting to the Super Bowl last year. So I was like, man, I'll give him one more run. Make it like the Ray Lewis. This my last dance. And to see them fold against the Niners, I kind of was with KC after that. I'm like, yo, it's like tough to come back.
Oh, like a lawn chair.
It's tough. Well, man. Andre, before we let you go, we got to talk Super Bowl predictions because that is this Sunday, tomorrow. So we got the Bengals, we got the Rams. What are you looking for in this matchup? What are you looking forward to the most? And who do you have winning?
Well, for me, I'm looking for a good game, hopefully. I'm a fan of Stafford and Kupp for sure, and AD too. But I can't stand freaking being from St. Louis. I was always a Cowboys fan, right? So St. Louis is my closet. It's one of my closet second teams, right? Okay. But as soon as they left St. Louis, I can't stand them. So I'm looking for Stafford to throw a bunch of picks. That's what I'm looking for. But to be a close game. I'm hoping Burrow can show some more magic and kick their butts. But yeah.
So is that who you rolling with? You rolling with Cincy to take the dub?
No, I think St. Louis is going to win. I just don't think I don't want them to win. Okay. I think the defense is going. I think they're probably going to set a record for sacks on little Joe. They're going to beat Joe. They're going to beat the shit out of Joe.
Joe. That offensive line going to get a run for their money.
Yeah.
AD going to work them to death. It's gonna be crazy.
That defensive line with AD and Von Miller. I mean, that's going to be ugly. And then this is what I'm looking forward to the most. Y'all know I like cornerbacks and receiver matchups. It's my favorite. That's honestly my favorite position in football is cornerback. I don't know why. I love watching the cornerback position in football. And Ramsey versus Jamar Chase is going to be must-see TV. I'm looking forward to that more than I'm looking forward to anything about the game. And I'm hoping, and now we talked about this off air, we can't get Casey and I can't give our Super Bowl predictions yet. We got to wait to the end of the show. But I'm hoping that the Rams are smart enough to not do what Philly did, and that is not match your best up against your best. I have Ramsey following Jamar Chase around the field the whole game. Even if I'm in zone, even if I'm in zone, I got him at least on the same side. I need him at least within the vicinity. But why don't you think? And I've been meaning to ask people about this because why don't you guys think that teams do that more often?
You want to go, KC?
Yeah, no, it's a lot. That's why it's tiring. If you gotta guard the best guy for 60 minutes, it's not worth it. Like the way these coaches are and the way offenses ran today, it's so different. Like they will find the matchup regardless. So I mean, outside of Ramsey, I mean, the Rams, their cornerback, their secondary isn't the best. So if you're gonna have Ramsey following Chase all day, they'll just feed Higgins. They'll find the tight end all day. So I think it's just better to pick your spots when you want Ramsey on Chase, maybe in crunch time, maybe down the stretch, here and there if you feel like it's third down, but you don't want him following them all game.
Yeah, I mean, but then my question is, I'll let you go, Andre. Then I'll chime in again.
And Higgins is a beast. People are underestimating Higgins. He is a freaking beast.
Yeah,
and so I'm not a Ramsey fan. He just talks too much shit for me. Sorry.
You're good.
And he's playing zone the whole time. So stop the bull crap that I'm shutting people down. You ain't shutting nobody down. You playing zone.
Yep.
Your group of the guy behind you is helping you shut somebody down. You're not shutting anybody down yourself. So, I think the issue is going to be on that side, on the cornerback side, is Cincinnati. There's nobody's going to be able to handle OBJ and Cooper Kupp. Uzi is going to get destroyed.
Yeah.
And the other cat, what's the other cat?
Apple.
Destroyed. It's going to get murdered.
Yeah. I guess.
Hopefully, there's some tip balls and some picks. That's all I can say.
I guess my thing is if you can't take the number one guy at least 90% of the game, what is Ramsey paid as the best cornerback in the league for?
Exactly.
Why is he paid as the best cornerback in the league? Now, we've seen him match up against the best for an entire game. We saw him line up against DK Metcalf for an entire game. You know how he matches up against D Hopkins for he's played D Hopkins man to man for like a whole, or at least on the same side for a whole game. I've seen it. I've seen
a matchup though.
We know when Ramsey was playing, or not Ramsey. We know when Revis was playing. Revis Island. You coming to my side, I'm guarding the best of the best the entire game. I feel like this is the Super Bowl. I feel like this is what you train for. Because I'm gonna tell you y'all know what's gonna happen. The moment Ramsey's not on him, the ball is going to Chase. The moment, and yes, T. Higgins is great. The tight end is great. They got other weapons. But at the end of the day, we know who makes that offense go. Jamar Chase been making that offense go all season. And at the end of the day, when push come to shove, Burrow gonna be looking at when that pocket collapse, he gonna look for Chase before he look for anybody. And I'd rather have at least Ramsey in the vicinity to turn the ball over, to knock the ball down, before I have him anywhere else on the field. Because like I said, as soon as he's not in the area, that's why I was so irritated, not to bring up Philly, but I was so irritated that Big Play Slay was not on Mike Evans even most of the game. I won't even say 100%. Yeah. He wasn't on Mike Evans most of the game. I don't understand it because the last time they matched up before the wild card round, Mike Evans went for 2 receptions for like 27 yards. And in this game, I think he had 2 catches or 3 catches. I think he did have 30 yards on Slay, but I think he was targeted 6 times. So he caught the ball 50% of the time that the ball was thrown at him with Slay on him. And then they moved Slay off him. And the minute Slay wasn't on him, he was scoring touchdowns. He was getting big plays. And it's like, yo, what's the logic? Yes, you're going to be tired and all of that is fair. But I don't know. Me personally, this is the Super Bowl. I'm going up to Ramsey. I'm like, look, this is going to be your matchup. And that's what he wants. This is going to be your matchup for 90% of the game. I'm going to need you to slow him down, shut him down, do something.
If he don't press Jamar Chase, he's gonna get murdered too. Dude, his routes are ridiculous. You're right. I mean, the wide receiver quarterback matchup for both sides is going to be interesting to watch.
It's gonna be fun. It's definitely gonna be fun.
Careful what you wish for, though, Ramsey. That's all I'll say.
Yeah,
that's all I'll say.
I think they do a great job of getting him the ball in different situations. Like they're running screen for him in a minute, and that'll make it tough for you to just line up man to man and say, okay, this is my guy, because you got 30 blockers coming at you because the screen is getting called, right? Yeah. But like I said, at the same time, that's the big time cornerbacks from Charles Woodson to Ramsey, Richard Sherman, Deion Sanders, Revis, all those guys. This is what you play football for. You want to match up against the best, and you want to do it most of the game. I guarantee you, if Jamar Chase goes for 10 receptions, 100 plus yards, and Ramsey isn't in the vicinity most of the time, you're going to hear about it after the game from Ramsey. Yeah, I wish I was matched up against him more. And I personally believe, even though Chase is a dog, don't get me wrong, people forget Chase still a rookie. Chase still has a lot to learn about the position compared to Ramsey, who's been in this game for a while. He's seen Odell, he's seen Antonio Brown, he's seen D Hop and DK and all these other cats that's at the top of the game as receivers. He's seen it all. It ain't nothing Jamar Chase gonna do on the field that he ain't seen before, that he hasn't had to guard or stop before.
Outside of getting cooking them.
You said what?
Outside of cooking them.
Look, man.
I'm just saying, just be careful what you wish for. Be careful. Jamar Chase is different.
I don't think he's gonna cook. I think if they match up, I don't think he's gonna cook. I can't remember the last time I've seen Ramsey get cooked by anybody. He's not getting cooked
Adams last year. You know about it.
Well, they wasn't really matching them up like how they were supposed to last year. And to y'all.
That's always the excuse, though.
Yeah, it is. It's always the excuse.
It's always an excuse.
And to y'all credit, they was running Devontae Adams around like it was, they was running him all around the offense. So yeah, if they do that with Jamar, it'll be tough. I will admit. But
I think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be closer than people think. Like AJ said, we can't give our prediction yet, but
we have not seen Jamar Chase go up against the best in the league yet. That's all I'm gonna say. We've seen Ramsey guard the best receivers in the league, though. We've seen it. We have not seen Chase go up against the best in the league just yet. So it's gonna be a big time test. What you gonna say, Andre?
The Buffalo corners are good though.
But are they in your top 5 cornerbacks in the league or top 3 corners in the league though?
One of their cornerbacks, yes. He's not Ward. What's his name? I can't remember his name. But one of the cornerbacks is really good.
I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name.
We'll see. In a couple hours, in 48 hours, I have to call you. We'll talk some more. But
we'll see. So if you had to give I'll give my Jamar Chase stat line prediction right now, just because we are talking about it. I say Jamar gives you 7 catches, 123, and a tutty.
Jamar Chase goes for 4 receptions.
No way.
50 yards.
Dog. Are you serious?
No 4 receptions, 50 yards. That's my stat.
No touchdowns?
I think no touchdowns. I think if the Bengals win this game, somebody else is gonna have to beat them. It's gonna have to be Higgins or somebody else. I don't think they're gonna let Chase kill them. I really don't.
And I'm saying they're underestimating Chase. I think Mixon may eat a little bit tomorrow.
Now that's something else that nobody's talking about. Everybody's talking about Joe Burrow. They can run the ball pretty good too. And the Rams' run defense is not the best.
Yeah,
it's very shaky. So that's
and they can keep that Rams offense off the field if they can run the ball. So
exactly.
And they got Stafford.
Yeah, that is true. And this might be the Stafford we've been waiting for. I've been talking about AJ knows how I feel about Stafford. Yeah. This might be the game we get the Stafford I've been waiting for. It just might be. It just might be.
He was trying to give it back to 49ers too. He was trying.
He tried it. He tried everything.
He did. Well, okay, so you got anything else to add real quick?
No, man, Andre, it was definitely good having you on the show, man. Maybe next year, I'll get back in the fantasy league. But no, I really enjoyed myself. Had a good time today talking with you, man.
It's definitely a pleasure for me. I can't wait for my white belt to show up so I can.
Yes, when it does come, and double text me your address. When it does come, we want to get you, a picture with you with the belt on, and we want to post it to the page. Yeah. I want to again congratulate you on winning, and again thank you for coming on the show. You are our first guest to our live show, so we appreciate you coming on. It's been fun, man. It's definitely been fun.
It's been a blast, guys.
All right,
I enjoy watching you guys. So thanks.
Thank you.
It.
We'll catch you.
All right.
All right.
Great having Andre on. Right, man?
Yeah, no, that was good. That was definitely good. I should have asked him. Dang, I should have thought about it. Like how he was a Cowboys fan and a Sixer fan. How you do that?
Well, a lot of people, move. Like I do the same thing. Like I'm obviously from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, but I rock with the Eagles and I rock with, the Lakers. So I mean, I feel like it's just how you grow. And my pops was a Cowboys fan to the T. So you can kind of see how, I'm surprised. Well, I'm not surprised. I'm not a Cowboys fan, but you can kind of see how a lot of it can translate as you continue to go. You know what I'm saying? So
I feel you. Well, it was definitely nice. But let's finish this show off, man. We still got a couple things to get into. The NBA trade deadline was like 2 days ago, and it was crazy. Like people was getting traded left and right. I know you got some reactions because obviously we kind of touched it earlier with the Harden trade, or Harden and Nets. But it was some other stuff that went down. So, what is your reaction to the NBA trade deadline?
First off, these Lakers, man. These Lakers, man. Like I at this point, KC, I don't know what to say, bro. Now we came into this season expecting this team to be championship contenders. Is what we expected as Lakers fans. We got Russ. A lot of us didn't want Russ, including me and you. We didn't necessarily want Russ. But once we got Russ, we kind of got on board. Like, forget it. Russ, he's a Hall of Famer. Russ, he can be that guy. He playing alongside Bron. Obviously, Bron wants him. So, that's gonna be, it should work out. If they had this meeting with him and they want him on board, then obviously there's a way in their mind they can make this happen. They can work this out. And it's been a train wreck. It's been awful. It's been awful. But it's not all on Russ, and I don't want to put it all on Russ. They don't play any defense. They don't play any defense. There's no effort on the defensive side of the ball. So I say that to say this trade deadline comes up and they make not a single move. And I don't even know. At this point, I don't know what to make of it. I know it was tough because contracts and money and all of that stuff, and you got people under big fat contracts that you can't move, and nobody wants Russ. If we being honest, nobody besides the Rockets, and they wanted. I don't know if you saw the trade offer. They wanted to trade us John Wall for Russ and a first round draft pick. Like, no, I'm not taking that because we already don't have a lot of assets. We've given up another draft pick, and we're gonna give it up for John Wall, who I haven't seen on the court in forever, who's also an aging star in the league.
Wow. He was tough last year.
Man, I didn't see much. I didn't see much better than Russ, is what I'm going to say. So I personally agree not taking that trade. But at the end of the day, I feel like you got to pick up something. I feel like they should have focused on the defensive side of the ball. I feel like everybody should have been up for a trade. Everybody, arguably outside of maybe LeBron and AD. I know Malik Monk has been playing out of his mind. I know Melo has been playing well. But I'm at least putting their names out there and seeing what I can get, man. Just seeing what I can get. Because at the end of the day, if you have a healthy LeBron James and a healthy Anthony Davis, you can make a lot of things happen. As we saw, they won a championship with that tandem. Every other piece it can be moved in my eyes. Every other piece on that roster can be moved, including the head coach, which is a conversation for another day. But I don't know. I was disappointed in the Lakers, man, that they didn't do nothing after LeBron came out, just a couple of nights ago after they got blown out by the Bucks, and just straight up said, I don't think we're gonna get to the Bucks level. That's basically like we're not gonna win a championship this year. It's not gonna happen. You put that energy into the air and no moves are made. It's like the Lakers of all teams are okay with not competing this year. Makes no sense whatsoever. But I do want to talk about another team really quick. Them Bucks getting Ibaka was huge. Yeah. I think it was huge. Now you have even more size on that front line. Obviously, Ibaka can block shots. He's great defensively. He can stretch the floor. I think that, and they gave up what's his name? DiVincenzo. Can't pronounce his name.
Dante DiVincenzo.
Who honestly seems to always be hurt. Seems to when he's on the court, he's straight, but I don't see him on the court that often. They won a championship last year without him. So you trade away a piece that you didn't need to win a championship, obviously, and you add a guy like Ibaka, which is great because we just saw the Brooklyn Nets add Drummond, and we just saw, the Sixers improve and get better. We see the Bulls, who I told you would be nice this year. Bulls would be nice this year. And so, yeah, I think that was a great move for them as well. The Milwaukee Bucks. What's your thoughts on the trade deadline?
No, I think you're right on it. I think the Bucks actually won the trade deadline, if we're being honest, getting Ibaka.
Wait. The
I said
Bucks
what I
want to
said.
trade deadline. The
I said
Bucks
what I
want to
said.
trade deadline.
I said exactly what I said.
After you just said, "Oh, the Sixers just improved so much." XYZ.
They did. I think if the raw opinion right now, I see a Bucks 76ers Eastern Conference Finals.
And you see the Bucks beating the Sixers, basically.
We're not there yet. We got to see what it looks like.
Oh,
we're not there yet. We got to see what it looks like. You know what I mean? I got to see how they shake up. But as of right now, yeah, I think the Bucks won the trade deadline. I think bringing a guy like Ibaka, like what makes Ibaka good is his toughness. Like Giannis doesn't have to be that guy. And I think that's important because last year, I mean, you saw it when it came down to it. If you needed a big body on a big body, Giannis was that person for the Bucks. I think Serge Ibaka takes that away. When the Bucks had Brook Lopez, they wanted him to be that guy, but he just wasn't. Ibaka is a different animal. He's not afraid to play defense. He's tough. He's strong, but he also can stretch the floor, and that is huge. Now Bobby Portis doesn't have to do that as much. Now that you know that changes things when it comes to that front court. So I just think that the Bucks won the deadline because you bring in a guy like Ibaka. They're already the defending champs. Most times when we see a team like the Bucks win a championship, the next year you say, okay, they're not that good, or they have championship hangover. And the Bucks haven't looked as dominant, but they weren't as dominant last year either during the regular season. So I think it's just boring to them. They know that they're good. They know they're great. They have that team chemistry already. So adding a guy like Ibaka, I think only strengthens them. You might not see it in the regular season, but in the playoffs, like you mentioned, they're going to have to probably see Embiid. They're going to probably have to see a Vucevic. They're probably going to have to see a Drummond in Brooklyn. Having a guy like Ibaka and Bobby Portis to take that off of Giannis is going to be huge. But I do want to touch on the Lakers. Because I agree, the Lakers are trash. They're stinky. They're stinky. Like they're terrible right now. Like it's honestly it's an atrocious brand of basketball that we're watching out of LA. But I have hope, and the hope that I have is because they actually didn't make a move. If they would have made a move, they would have moved forward. But they didn't make a move. They still have to move forward. And if there's any person, like literally any player in the league that I would trust to be able to flip this thing around, it's got to be LeBron. We've seen it. At this point, everybody in that locker room, for the most part, knows that they'll be there for the rest of the season. So what are we here to do? You have all these Hall of Famers in that locker room. Somebody has to step up.
All these top 75 players, man.
Top 75. Is it the NBA 75? All that. We've been seeing that all year. All these names, all these people on the team that was thinking they got snubbed. Play like it. Yeah. Play like it. Somebody has to step up and be a leader. Russ, look in the mirror and have some accountability. Yeah. Have some accountability. It's got to be frustrating. It didn't work with you in OKC with Harden and KD. It didn't work with you in OKC with KD. It didn't work in OKC with you and PG. It didn't work in Houston with you and James Harden. It didn't work in Washington when you and Bill. And now it's not working in LA with AD and LeBron. Are you kidding me? These are Hall of Fame players. Play like it. Take some accountability. It's got to be frustrating if you're Lakers. And if Russ can do that, and I think LeBron can get this out of him, if Russ can do that, I think that they can move forward. Whether that's coming off the bench, I don't know. I've been seeing that floated around. Whether that's shrinking some of his minutes so he's not handling so much of the ball. But when I watch the Lakers play and I watch Russell Westbrook handle the ball, especially in crunch time, it's nauseating. Yeah. So if they can figure that out, and now that LeBron or now that Russ knows he won't be traded, the team knows that they won't be traded. Hopefully they're able to move forward. Hopefully they're able to take the second half of the season and make something happen, which I think they will, because like I said, there's a lot of veterans in that locker room, so they got to figure it out.
Yeah, I agree with you to an extent from the standpoint of, they didn't move anybody. And we heard LeBron say, the trade deadline was weighing on them. It was weighing on them. And, you don't know who's going to be moved. You don't know who's going to be traded. And that's on your mind when you go out there and play. My issue, KC, is, bro, I don't know what else LeBron has left to give, bro. Bron, I don't think the Lakers being as bad as they are right now is really kind of hiding how great LeBron is playing. Bro, Bron averaging 29 points a game. 29 a game, bro. That's not, we haven't seen that LeBron since like maybe not even Miami days. We haven't seen that LeBron since early Cleveland years. Like he turning the clock all the way back. And it's still not been enough. You know, we talk about we've seen LeBron do this kind of stuff before. And yeah, we have, but we also saw them get dismissed in the first round of the playoffs last year. And that's in the back of my mind. Because at this rate, right now you're struggling to get into that 8th or 7th seed. You're gonna have to play Golden State or you're gonna have to play Phoenix. Do we want to see Golden State or Phoenix, bro, in the first round? Hell no. We don't want to see either one of them. Even though I can't stand Phoenix, we don't want to see them boys in the first round again. Their best chance is to get to that 6th spot and play Memphis, who's been playing also great basketball this season. That will be a tough matchup as well. But they got a lot of work to do. And again, Russ is his own issue. He's terrible in the crunch time. I don't know why he acts so entitled. Yeah, I feel like I've deserved the right to be on the court, in the closing lineup. No, you haven't. No.
What have you done for me lately?
You've been awful. You've missed every game when you've taken. You've taken beyond, I don't know how many ill-advised shots late in games. You've turned the ball over like crazy. You're not giving the ball to better shooters than you. There's no way Melo, LeBron, AD, and Malik Monk on the floor, and you taking the game-winning shot. And not only is it a jump shot, it's a 3. You the worst three-point shooter probably in the lineup, maybe even on the team, and you shooting a 3 for the game. Like, it's just the IQ sometimes is beyond questionable. But then you in these post-game interviews and acting entitled, and you on the bench and you smirking and you smiling like everything's okay and everything's fine when it's not. He's his own issue, and the Lakers got to address that. But even bigger than him, they got to figure out what their lineups are, because they have had 28, 27 different lineups that they've put out there on the floor. None of it really has worked. And they got to play some damn defense. They got to play some defense, because the issue ain't scoring the basketball. Like I said, Bron averaging 29. Malik Monk putting up numbers. When Melo play, he's stretching the floor. He's shooting very well. AD, even though he wasn't playing like AD to start the season, since he's been back from this injury, he's been playing great basketball on the offensive side of the ball. He's been sometime on defense. The issue is they can't guard nobody. They're like when I was talking about the Cowboys earlier. They put up all of these points, but then they're not stopping nobody. And at the end of the day, they too old to think they're going to outscore everybody. At some point, you got to clamp down on the defensive side of the ball. Frank Vogel was supposed to be known for his defense. We ain't seen it all season. We haven't seen it all season. I think Frank Vogel should have been fired a while ago. Ooh. This locker room and the team, it seems like they clearly aren't listening to him anymore. It don't seem like they play for him anymore. It's apparent. There are deeper issues here than Russ. And we see that. They just lost to the Blazers without Dame and CJ. Like,
listen, it looks bad. It looks very bad.
And Russ wasn't playing. Russ wasn't even on the floor. You got Bron and AD on the floor, and you losing to the Blazers. The Blazers. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. They got a lot of work to do. I have a smidgen of hope because we do have LeBron James, but I don't know how much more Bron can do, bro. He playing lights out basketball. He doing everything he can. And honestly, if I'm being real, I feel like he's bust out every tool he has to get through the rust. And I just feel like it hasn't worked, bro. You know Bron don't want to be 3-4 games under 500. He didn't try to get to Russ by now already, and it hasn't worked. We hearing reports that he's refusing to work out with Paul Haney.
Well, Phil Haney.
Yeah, we hearing reports that Russ is, refusing to work out and work on his game. And I don't know. I
listen, like I said, it's bad. Russ is a serious problem. He's probably the biggest problem. But like I said, it's just too many vets. It's way too many vets, way too many guys that have been there, done it before, in that locker room to not be able to figure this out. And I know you say you don't want to see Golden State or you don't want to see the Suns first round, but I mean, ultimately, if your goal is to win a championship, you got to see them. They're going to have to see them anyway, whether it's first round, second round, third round. So
my quick take on that before we move on, I'd rather see them in the second or third round, just from the standpoint of like the first round of the playoffs. You want to get that momentum, number one. and you want to get that confidence that you can win a playoff series, because the Lakers ain't win a playoff series last year. You feel me? So I feel like they need to get in there. They need to get in them close games against a team like Memphis, right? Close some of these games out, figure some of that stuff out. You hope that they could do that towards the end of the regular season. But if they can't and they kind of scratch and claw their way into the playoffs, I feel like they kind of, I hate to phrase it like this, but they're going to kind of need a semi warm-up round. And Memphis compared to the Warriors or the Suns, that's kind of a warm-up, because I don't think Memphis is contending with those two teams.
But see, that's where I disagree, because I got their warm-up. It's the play-in tournament, because right now it's looking like they'll be in it. Like that's their warm-up. Like I think that the confidence that they would have beating a Golden State or Suns first round, it wouldn't matter. At that point, I think the confidence would be higher doing that than playing a team like Memphis and then having to see the Suns or Golden State the next round. I just feel like the warm-up is now. Like they're 4 or 5 games under 500. They're probably going to be in the play-in tournament if they even are in that situation come late in the season. If they're not warmed up by the time they see Golden State or the Suns, they'll never be. So I definitely think that they'll figure it out, and we'll see tonight what they look like. The trade deadline is over. If they can beat the Warriors tonight, that's a lot of confidence going into the All-Star week. So
we gonna see. I don't know if I see them beating Golden State though, but we gonna see. Reports come out that the Lakers are, energized now that nobody's been traded. I've gotten to the point where I don't even listen to them boys after the games no more. I just don't be wanting to hear it. It'd be a bunch of excuses. It'd be a bunch of, we'll get them next time. When we make the playoffs, we'll be better. We got these bets. We'll be all right. There's been a bunch of that, man. It ain't been a lot of, all right, we suck. just keep it 100. We suck, and we gotta play better.
Keep it a buck. But as you know, before we get out of here, we would be remiss if we didn't discuss the Super Bowl.
Yes, sir.
It is Super Bowl 56. We got the Bengals, Joey B, Joey Buckets, Joey Smooth Cigar versus Matty Ice Jr., I guess. Matty Stafford, old Lions quarterback. I don't know. Either way, we got the Bengals versus the Rams in LA, by the way. In LA. That's very big because this is the second year in a row. We get the home team playing in the Super Bowl. But AJ, I'll let you kick it off. What is your Super Bowl 56 prediction? Who you got winning?
All right. So this year for the bowl, and somebody made a comment because we were talking about Ramsey earlier. They made this comment right here talking about Ramsey. That Ramsey had, got burnt a couple times. I'll get to that in a hot second. I think this game is gonna come down to a couple things. One, I think we think Joe Burrow is Superman, and I do understand that Joe Burrow has been playing lights out. He's been playing great football. He's been playing out of his mind. He took 9 sacks against the Tennessee Titans and still found a way to win the game. They took down the defending AFC champions from last year, the Kansas City Chiefs. And they came from behind and won that game the same way they did in the regular season before. So I definitely understand to an extent how, people are going to rock with Joe Burrow. It just kind of feels like it's their time. It feels like it's their moment, where they just come out of nowhere and just take the league by storm. And I get it. I understand it. I'm rolling with the Rams. I feel like the Rams have too many advantages in this game to lose this game. If the Rams play that how they're supposed to play, they should win this game by at least 10 points. You got the advantage on the defensive line with Aaron Donald and Von Miller and these cats who can disrupt the passer, get to the quarterback, get sacks, can blow up your run game as well. Then you go to the outside. You got a decent secondary. You got the best cornerback in the league that can, if you decide not to match him up with Jamar Chase, you could put him on Higgins and you can move him around on the defense and put him on different players that are having a good game. So you got that going for you. Then you go to the other side of the football, right? You got Matt Stafford back there, who I think at this point has proven he's a dog. He in the Super Bowl now. I think he's proven that he's a dog. I think in my eyes, he's proven. And I was on board with the Stafford slander. I was until he beat Tampa. And until he found a way to come from behind and beat the Niners, a team that's haunted them now for years, to get to the spot that they're in. He's shown that intestinal fortitude. He's shown that grit that he can come out and say, I don't care if we down. I don't care what the situation is. When I'm on the field, we still have a shot at winning. So you got that going for you. You got a decent running game. You don't have Tyler Higbee. That is going to be pivotal in this game. That does hurt because I hear he's on IR, right? But you have Odell, who you was wrong about, Casey. Odell been a dog since he's joined the Rams. You say, I don't know. He gonna be that guy. He gonna catch 2 balls for 50 yards every game.
But that was when Robert Woods was healthy.
Right, but you also felt a similar way even after Robert Woods got hurt. That's all I'm gonna say. But we leave it there. My boy Odell has been getting money, has been doing this thing. They got this meme out on Twitter right now that say if he scores a touchdown, he gonna be dancing into the halftime show. Which is hilarious. But yeah, you got that advantage on the outside because I don't know who you got to match up with Odell. You definitely ain't got nobody to match up with Cooper Kupp, who's just seem to be open no matter who's guarding him. So you got that going for you. And then I think coaching is better too. Sean McVay has making up to do from the last Super Bowl that he lost against the New England Patriots, where he was clearly outcoached, where Bill Belichick limited that offense to, I believe, 3 points. 3 points. So I think you got so many different advantages within the football game. And I just feel like in a game of such magnitude, this is what you brought Odell there for. This is what you signed Jalen Ramsey for. This is what you have Aaron Donald for. This is what you have Cooper Kupp for. This is what you have Von Miller for. This is why you went and made the trade and traded away draft picks to get Matthew Stafford. You got all of these stars in LA. The game is in LA. You got everything going for you. Everything, everywhere you turn, they have an advantage. Everywhere you turn, they have an advantage. And with all that being said, I think, like I said, I have to roll with the Rams because of those factors. I just feel like, again, the Bengals, they're a great team. It's been a great ride. But there's only so many times you can go up against a team where you don't have a lot of distinct advantages that you need on the football field and you can pull out a win. You ain't going to get sacked 9 times against the Rams and win the game. It's not going to happen because Ryan Tannehill was only able to put up 19 points on the other side. I think if they get to Burrow enough, I think it's curtains, and I think that they will. And I think, and I'm going to say this again on the airwaves for the people that are listening at home, Jamar Chase, remember I said it. Put your money on it. 4 receptions, 50 or less yards. And I think my boy Ramsey walks away with a pick too, trying to because they're going to try to target Jamar Chase while Ramsey is there. And I think Ramsey walks away with the pick. I think this is a standout game for Ramsey. I think this is where he puts his stamp on still semi-young career and puts himself in that category as one of the best cornerbacks to ever play the game. Yes, I said it. And I think this game also puts a stamp on Matthew Stafford and gets him a Hall of Fame jacket.
AJ, it pains me to say it, but I 100% agree with everything you said. I think the Rams are they're the better team. The Rams, they do have Odell, who has been balling. It seems like they were able to figure that out. I think, Robert Woods going down probably helped aid that a little bit more. You're playing in LA. That's advantage number one. Just kind of being in that home stadium. You have the better defensive line. Coaching is better. You've been in this situation before. And I think with that being said, like I said, I 100% agree with you. I think the Rams are the better team and should win this game. But they're not.
Wow.
But they're not.
Wow.
Okay. Everyone is sleeping on the Cincinnati Bengals, but Casey. I think that this is going to be very interesting for a couple of different reasons. Well, one, it's the Super Bowl. And we know, as we've seen in the past, a la New York Giants twice, when it comes to the Patriots, we've seen this movie before where a team gets to the Super Bowl and rolls. We've seen this before, granted a little bit differently, but with the Seahawks when they met Denver and rolled them boys from the start. Nobody saw Denver getting folded like that in that Super Bowl, but it happened. So I look at the Bengals and I think they got a real shot here. Everyone's mentioning they don't have a chance to stop this offense. I'm sorry, did they not just play Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, and Patrick Mahomes, the $500 million man? Did that game happen, right? I'm sorry, did they not play the Titans with Julio, AJ, Tannehill, Derrick Henry coming back? Like that happened. The number one team in the AFC, by the way, and the number two team in the AFC, and they smoked the Raiders again. So I think that even though the Rams do have all the advantages, even though the Rams do have Odell, as you like to say, even though they do have White Lightning and Cooper Kupp, and even though they have Matt Stafford, I think this is the trap game. Like I said earlier, I think the Super Bowl is the trap game.
Wow.
I think we see, and only because they have everything going for them. It seems too good to be true. It's kind of like, and you remember this, I know you remember this, in the 13 NBA Finals, when San Antonio thought they had the win in the bag, and they got to bring in that yellow rope around, and all of a sudden, rebound by Bosh, out to Allen, bang! We're gonna see a little bit of that going on tomorrow in the Super Bowl. Joey B / Buckets is a baller. He's a
Joe Shiesty.
Joe Shiesty is a baller. I didn't want to believe it, but if you think about it, let's really assess Joe Burrow's last few years. Like, this really happened. This is a true career. He wins a national championship at LSU after transferring from Ohio State. He then becomes the number one draft pick, goes to a terrible Cincinnati Bengals team that has no offensive line. Everybody in the building know he needs an offensive line, tears his ACL, comes back. He says, just give me my teammate. Just give me Chase and we gonna hoop. And then runs through the AFC his first full year. That's a baller. And I think that this is why we shouldn't be sleeping on Joe Burrow, and nobody thinks Cincinnati has a chance to win this game. You don't think the defense hears that? You don't think Higgins hears that? You don't think the offensive line hears that? You don't think Joe Mixon hears that? I'm here to say that the Cincinnati Bengals have a real shot and are going to knock off the Rams at home in the Super Bowl. And one more thing that I'll say, because no one's talking about this, Zach Taylor, he knows Sean McVay. He was the quarterback coach for the Rams a couple of years ago before he got the job in Cincinnati. If anybody knows what McVay wants to do, it would be Zach Taylor. So all I'm saying, pump the brakes. I know we want to celebrate. I know if you in LA, you thinking about parading in the streets. You thinking about running down the streets. I know y'all thinking about going over to the wood where the forum. You know, y'all gonna be parading down Hollywood Boulevard, but it ain't happening because Cincinnati is coming to town and they're coming to snatch the Rams' heart. I'm going with Cincinnati to win this game, 34-31. Joe Burrow, he gonna be smoking on a victory cigar tomorrow.
I've seen that. I've heard that score quite often, 34-31. That's a popular score. I didn't put a score on it, but obviously, like I said, I'm going Rams. I'm gonna go. I don't think it's gonna be as high scoring. I'm gonna go 24-20. I'm gonna go 24-20.
Rams.
I'm gonna go 24-20 Rams. I think Burrow's gonna have a chance to win it at the end, but I think just like what happened to Jimmy Garoppolo, where Aaron Donald was able to get to the passer and create havoc, I think the same thing's gonna happen to Joe Burrow the last couple plays of the game. The fact that Aaron Donald already lost the Super Bowl, that's gonna be pivotal. The fact that Sean McVay already lost the Super Bowl, that's going to be pivotal. I just see the Rams as the hungrier team, the more experienced team. They're a savvy team. They're a smart team. Like I said, I don't see it. Joe Burrow's going to win multiple Super Bowls before it's all said and done. But to get there so quick and to do this right away, as soon as you get there and take down a team like the Rams at this point, I don't think it's their time yet.
One last thing I'll say. I agree. The Rams, McVay, yes, he's lost the Super Bowl. Aaron Donald, yes, he's lost the Super Bowl. but Matthew Stafford was not the quarterback. Matthew Stafford doesn't have that experience. I think that makes a difference. Matthew Stafford is new in the Super Bowl just like Joe Burrow is. But one, I don't know. I think Joe Burrow just has a little too much swag.
But then in that case, if it comes down to the defense, we know who got the advantage on the defensive side of the ball. That is the problem. And you brought up them beating Tennessee, and you brought up them beating the Chiefs. The Chiefs, I will give you, even though Patrick Mahomes, we might have to have a conversation about his decision making sometimes. It seems like he's always looking for the big play. Don't ever want to take the checkdowns. Don't ever want to take the checkdowns. I don't know if that's him. I don't know if that's Andy Reid. I don't know. But the man seems to never want to take the check down, and that's become an issue. The Titans, get that, man, bro. With Ryan Tannehill just giving the ball away like it's candy. I give them more credit for beating the Raiders than I do beating the Titans. Listen, bro. The Titans were a great football team. They were the number 1 seed in the AFC, right? But at the end of the day, Derrick Henry first game back from injury. Them boys didn't come to play on the offensive side of the ball. That was clear. That was apparent. Because the defense,
either that or the defense for the Bengals came to play.
What was that?
I said either that or the defense for the Bengals came to play.
Could be a bit of both. But going up against Stafford and his offense, they got no answer for that passing attack. So like I said, I think they're going to put up 24 points. I think the Bengals will make it interesting. This is the last thing I'll say about this, though. They better not be fighting from behind again. You better not go down 21-3 again or 21-10 or something like that and give that defense all they need to give them that opportunity to pin their hats back and go after Burrow. It's going to get ugly quick. They better put up some points. The first couple drives, they better put up some points. Don't go out there and freeze up, because if they do and they get a big lead and then the Bengals have no choice but to throw the football, they might get blown out. At that point, it might be they're not coming back like that against the Rams. Not happening. Not happening. Like they have to have a balanced attack on the offensive side of the ball. And Joe Mixon is going to have a big game as well. Because again, I don't think you're going to be able to just feed Jamar Chase all game. I don't. So they're going to have to run the ball effectively. They're going to have to mix in some play action. They're going to have to throw it off, because you don't want that defensive line with Von Miller and Aaron Donald attacking the quarterback all day long. That's going to get that. It's not a pretty matchup. It's not pretty. Joe Shiesty, that dude, though, so it wouldn't shock me if he found a way to pull something out the hat. But if I had to put my money on it, I'm going with the Rams. And I don't know if this is going to actually happen, but I want to say this quickly. I hope my boy Odell has a big game, for real. Like, all jokes aside, I'll be like, Odell, all that. But I really hope bro has a big game. He's earned this opportunity. And he's now in a position now where he's in the Super Bowl and he has the opportunity to really just put a stamp on things. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping Odell go for over 100 yards like he did last game. I don't see any matchup for him. And with Cooper Kupp being the number 1 option, the defense is going to shift that way anyway, which is going to leave opportunity for Odell to go out there and go crazy. So
real quick,
it's going to be fun.
Real quick response before we get out of here. Super Bowl MVP.
Oh, I got Stafford.
Ooh.
I got Stafford because I think Odell has a big game. I think Cooper Kupp is Cooper Kupp, and as well as I think the defense is gonna play. They always be they don't like giving the awards to the defensive side of the ball. Nah. And I can't remember last time they gave it to a receiver either. So I think if the Rams win and Stafford do what he's supposed to do, I think they give it to Stafford.
I agree. I'm going quarterback too, but I'm going with that boy Joe Shiesty. I'm going with that boy Joey Buckets. I think he puts up. He probably goes 30 for 43, 355, 3 tuds.
He better not drop back 43 times, bro. They better mix that run in there.
If they're down, he's gonna have to throw the ball.
That's what I'm saying. They can't fall behind by much. They got to be able to run that ball effectively, bro. Because that's the Rams. Like I said, the Rams' rush defense isn't the best. You get that run going, it's a lot harder. But if he dropped back 43 times, Aaron Donald will get him at least 3 sacks. At least 3 sacks.
He'll be all right. He's a tough kid. He'll be all right. I mean, he got sacked 9 times. He could take it.
I didn't throw it. I didn't throw a stat line on Stafford, so I'll do that now. I say Stafford drops back. They throw the ball a lot. So I say Stafford drops back at least 35 times. He goes. I say Stafford goes at least 26, 27 of 35, 320 yards, 3 tuds as well. No interceptions. And I think 2 of them tuds goes to Odell.
Nah,
Yes,
that ain't
sir.
happening.
Yes,
3
sir.
tuds from Stafford, 355, no picks. Ain't happening, Captain.
320, 320, no picks.
All right, we'll see. Well, we'll be back next week to talk about it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Bridge Gap fans, this episode has been fun. It's been a pleasure. We had the champ on, Andre, again. Congratulations to him. Yes. Super Bowl predictions are out the way. Casey, you got anything else you want to add before we put a cap on this episode?
No, I can't wait to see the future of Bridge the Gap. Definitely fun first live show. A lot of new stuff coming 2022. We back. The boys is back. The boys is back. The boys is back. The boys is back. All right, I'm done. I'm out.
Look at that. All right, y'all. We will catch y'all next time on the next episode of BTG Bridge the Gap. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned for more exciting stuff to come. But for now, we are signing off.